Good evening. Let us begin the discussion on the Panchama Veda, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So today we'll be discussing mainly about the three different types of enjoyments. So before that, let us complete the stotra. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi viriritam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadaatatam bhuvi grinanti e bhuridarjana. So it has been explained again and again about this sloka, which says that even those who are listening to this, discussing about this, pondering about this idea, they get a great merit. What is that merit? The spiritual benefit. What's that spiritual benefit? They call it in Sanskrit Amrit. Amrit means the immortality. This is the conception. What is the immortality? I am not going to die. So the idea of not dying, where from it came? So anything, it must be there. When the moment the thought comes, there must be a root from where it is coming. Sorry. There must be a basis from where this thought comes, otherwise it will never come. Every living being, every being wants to survive. Even it has been examined and proved that if you are going to cut a tree, the tree is afraid. They also like to survive. The expression is in a completely different, so we cannot recognize. But it is there. That means within us there is something which is eternal, and we want to be eternal. And to reach to that eternal state is spirituality. What is the goal of spirituality? What is the goal of religion? What is the goal of philosophy? To understand and to become like that. So here Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was expounding the behavior of the realized souls, and he categorized them in two groups. One is Jnani, another is Big Jnani. They have realized, both of them, they have realized the truth, they have reached to that goal. And one is Jnani, another is Big Jnani. In many different places, Sri Ramakrishna used these two words, Jnani and the Big Jnani. Who is a Jnani? A practitioner of Advaita Vedanta who believes Brahman is the only reality and everything is illusory. So his practices neti, neti, not this, not this. He believed it, he heard, he pondered over that on the thought, and slowly he started believing that there is only one reality. It is not simply belief. And he has seen in the lives of the great souls, he has read their words or heard from the Guru, and then after a lot of judgment, argument, he has come to the conclusion there must be something which is eternal. And to reach to that eternity, reach to that Amrit, what he is doing? The practice is not this, not this. Why not this? What is that? Not these worldly things. Whatever comes before him, he said, not this, not this. So he goes towards the ultimate. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna In different places, he is bringing the same idea. Idea is only one. Now, this idea has been expressed in so many different ways. And he is telling that someone was going to meet the king. He is coming from a remote village. He never saw anything in this. So when he reached over there in the capital where the king's palace is there, he was dumbfounded. Oh my God, it's so big. And everybody, everyone all around are well dressed, well mannered, well behaved. Everything is so nice. So he was thinking in this. So ultimately he reached to the gate and he saw the first girl standing with beautiful dress. If you go to the London and you go to the Queen's Palace, the girls are so well dressed, standing over there. People will be going on taking the photos of the girls. But Queen is very far away. It's very difficult to reach her. So naturally this man went and met the first person. Are you the king? He said, no, go in. Second, third, fourth, fifth. Then naturally the one after another, the big dignitaries, they were appearing. And when he reached to the prime minister, who is just before the king, he thought, oh my God, this is the king. See, he went and saw, no, it cannot be. Because something is lacking. That commanding, that freeness, fearlessness, all-powerfulness is not there. Something is lacking. In the meantime, when he was coming, he was judging these and that, and slowly, this thing came in his mind, bichara, the discrimination. He started discriminating what should be the characteristic of the person who is completely free, what should be the characteristic of God. So when he reached over there, ultimately entered into where the king was sitting, he need not to ask anyone. All doubts went away, and he saw the great king sitting over there on the throne, surrounded by so many people. His gesture, his posture, his behavior, everything proved that he is the person. So when we go to the ultimate, we call it God, because the word God we can understand. When you go to that God, the same thing happens. When we are traveling, we see some people in a different dress, a different manner, different way of talking, different way of eating. Oh, they must be the realized souls. We go to them. After talking to them, no, these are not the people. It cannot be, because they have desires. It cannot be. God cannot have the desire. So this way, we have heard, we have read in the scripture that God is completely free and full of joy and love. The moment you reach over there, you are full with joy. Vidanti hridaya granthi chiddanti sarva samsaya. Those who have realized, they have expressed their realization and they have given us the guidance. So this is the guidance. So it must be like this. So they are going. And when afterwards, not these. The man who was going, not this, neti. When he ultimately reaches to the king, iti, this is this. You need not to say anything, because your realization, your feeling will say. So Ramakrishna again, you see, the same thing, he is giving different type of the explanation so that people can understand. Some people can understand this way, and some people very ordinary, simple, day-to-day life. And he said a girl was married, and the first time she came to her own mother's place, and the husband also came with many friends. In those days in our society, the husband and his friends and relatives should be in a separate room, and girls are in a separate room, but they are curious to see the husband. Who is the husband? So the friends of that girl, they were asking, hey, is that the... Because everyone was well dressed, All the boys were well dressed, young men. So they were not knowing who is the husband. So they were asking that girl who was married, they said, is this the husband? She said, no, Neti, 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 not this, not this, not this. When they pointed to that husband, she didn't express anything, only smiled. To look at this, the way Sri Ramakrishna is explaining, so unique way. You need not to ask, is this the God? No, the joy, the tremendous joy, the fearlessness, the oneness, that will show you. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. The Jnani, he practices in this way and he behaves according to the spiritual injunctions. It is in the page number 476. He said he behaves according to the spiritual injunction. Why? Because this Jnani, he has reached to that ultimate, but still he is not confident. So he wants to hold it to that truth. He never wants to give it away because the pull of the Maya, pull of the worldly thing is so much. The Sri Ramakrishna is mentioned, he behaves according to spiritual injunctions. And the spirituality, they always say, be alert all the time. Apramatta bhava. Or negative, pramatya. Pramatya means deluded bhava. Don't be deluded. What is a delusion? The delusion is so many things. If you go to any jewelry shop, they will show you the glittering things, the gold and the other things are glittering. And they put the lights also in such a way, they will make it the whole thing in a different, and you go and say, oh, this is good, that is good, everything is good, whatever you see is good. But a person who can understand, he will go and say, show me the real jewel, and he will test it and then check it and then say, oh, this is the one I want. So you have to be very, very careful. Everything in the world is so attractive. But ultimately this person says, no, I am. So constantly going on practicing and moving according to the spiritual injunctions. That is what Sri Ramakrishna said. But what about the big Jnani? Now another stage. The Jnani, the Brahma Jnani, Brahmavid, Brahmaiva Bhavati, we read in the scripture. The moment you realize the Brahman, the Supreme, the ultimate consciousness, you become like that. But there's still the grade is there. And that's why sometimes you will hear some people are telling, oh, he is a great monk. He has reached the height. There are many other. He is comparing among the other monks, other spiritual people. Why not? They're all same. It cannot be. All are having the medical certificates. They're all doctors. They're certified to give you the medicine and check you. But there are differences. There are all professors. They are teaching maybe the same subject, but variations are there, gradations are there. Some professors are really excellent. And in this life also, when the spirituality, they also reaches to that. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, about him, after long taste, we should say, his disciple, his beloved disciple, Vivekananda said, Avatara Varishtaya. It's not just out of emotion he is telling, oh, this is my guru, he is the Varishta, he is the highest. No. He said, Avatara Varishtaya, after checking, seeing, it is impossible to get this type of person. Why? Because he was not only Vijnani, he was the source of all those. So what is this Vijnani? The word Vijnana means, if you translate, it will be scientist. Jnani, a person of knowledge. Vijnani is a scientist. But here the Vijnani means one who has completely imbibed that knowledge and completely free from that. How it is? He lives in the world but never becomes of the world. That is called Vijnani. So when we were brahmacharis, we used to go along with the senior Swamijis like Atmananda ji, Ranganathananda ji, Lokeshwarananda ji of our time. So they used to go to the devotees' house, they used to mix with them, talk to them, sitting with them. But we as a brahmachari, we used to see that we are not mixing with them, we are taking care. Mostly 2-3 brahmacharis together we used to move. So the worldly things should not attract me or I should not make any mistake. Because monastic life, monastic vows that I have taken, nobody forced me. So obviously I should be very, very careful. And the same way, in any profession if you go, when they take the oath and they'll try to continue with that. Maybe 2 sisters, but they won't disclose because I have taken the oath. I cannot disclose about this and that. That is my profession, that is the thing. And the monastic life also, I have taken the vows of celibacy. And I have taken the vows that I should live in this way. So that is called completely following the injunctions of the scriptures. But the Vijnanis, they have reached beyond that. Nothing is going to happen. Sri Ramakrishna again, he is mentioning it in another place. When it is just germinating, you have to give the fencing properly. Then slowly, that small thing becomes a big tree. Then even the elephant cannot do anything to that tree. So Vijnani is that strong tree. So that Vijnani, he lives in the world but never becomes of the world. In the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, a sloka 55 to 59, only these 5 verses, the position of the Vijnani has been described. But instead of the word Vijnani, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, Sthita Prajna. Prajna means the wisdom. Sthita means it is completely free and determined. Sthita. And when a person completely give up all desires of the mind. See, the first thing, what is the spirituality? First, I had to accept that this world, what I see, beyond that, there is something else, which I may call as Brahman, spiritual world, or God, whatever the way this is the first thing. And then I like to go to that world, but I have to go through this. And what is the problem over here? Have you noticed? In most of the airports, when you have coming down, you have to go through different shops. Not that they are forcing you to purchase, but they are tempting you to purchase. In the different places, even when you are going to any place, they have made in such a way, the market economy in the America, market economy. So naturally, they will take you to the market. They're not forcing you. But the things here and there in such a way, you become attracted. At least one you go and pick up. And that will be sufficient for them. And thousands of people every day commuting through this. And if at least 1% or 2% of them they pick up, the good business. So like this it goes. In the world is also same like that. When you are going towards God, your destination is God, your goal is God, you are going towards God, and you have the ticket, you have taken the initiation from the Guru, and you know it, everything fixed, but you have to pass through the marketplace. And all are so tempting. Somewhere the songs, some are the music, some are the name, fame. So many varieties of things are there. You have to commute through that. You have to go through that. Who is doing? You. What is attracting? Objects. How it is attracted? Through the senses. The senses are going and giving to the mind, why don't we stop over here and have a cup of tea? And when you are taking the tea, why not this type of thing purchase to eat? Then while eating, I saw there's a magazine, take up the magazine. And some other things, we can give as a gift to them. So one after another is going on collecting, and afterwards your bag is full. And you miss the flight. While you are purchasing all these things, you forget about the timing and your flight is missed. And that way, again and again, we are coming back to this world because of desire. But to a person who is completely free from all desires. And they say, when a person completely free from all desire, in Sanskrit they say, prajohati yada kaman sarvan. Prajahati. Jahati means given up. Jahati, giving up. Prakrishta, completely giving up. And what? Kaman sarvan, all desires. And so many varieties of desires. And different way it comes. Some gross, some subtle, very intellectual, and so many varieties. When the gross desires have gone, and the subtle desires have also gone, intellectual things have also gone, but there will be the desire for name and fame. Oh, I like to research on this, I like to publish this, I like to do this, I like to do that, in so many different ways. One of our great Swami was a highly scholar. When he used to talk with us, very jokingly, in a funny way, he used to speak. And sometimes some people will say, why don't you write a book, Swami? And you know so many things, why don't you write a book? Then he will say, then maybe that I have to go and sell the book. So when you publish, so many other problems are there. When first is you have to write, and for the writing is this, you need the money to publish the book. For the money you have to go to some people. And when you have published, then you have to contact some people to sell it. And that way so many other things are coming, fetters binding you. Who is going to do that? I am not going to do that. And so many books have been published on him. And whatever he said that was recorded and other people are publishing. He said, no, I am not going to do that. Completely free from that. So this is called when a person completely give up all desires of the mind. And mind is something, when you are giving up something, you have to have something. Otherwise you cannot quietly see it. You must have to give something. Satisfied in the self alone, by the self. He is completely satisfied in the self. This particular sentence is very difficult to understand because we don't have the idea what is self. And we don't have the idea how inside the self I can be happy. Self with the self, the small s and capital S. Capital S is that God, the self. And when I go, how it is possible to go over there? So the Tantrics and Vaishnavas, they have developed mantra. Mantra is God's name. And you take it from a holy person. And believing on his words, you go on repeating, that helps you. Because otherwise it is impossible to go to that self. But in the great personalities like this, who practiced under the guidance of Bhagavan Ramakrishna, control their minds, all their senses, what they used to do to avoid the public, the people who used to come and talk, like the first president of the Ramakrishna mission, we consider Raja Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda. He used to go and sit by a small pond fishing. He never catched any fish. But he used to sit in such a way the people won't disturbing. Oh no, he is engaged. Whole day he will sit over there. And what he used to do? He used to meditate. Whole day sitting over there meditating, and in the room if you are there, people will come, Swamiji, somebody is there to talk to you, to meet you, and you are the president, you are supposed to do that. But he loves to be within, and whole day sitting over there meditating, and under a disguise that he is catching the fishes. So this is the way, but if we are allowed to go and sit like that, you won't be able to. And if we are doing that, we'll be going on listening the music and reading some books, having some conversation over telephone, and then also fishing. All these things should be there to satisfy, and most of the people, they will be smoking and that way spending time. But here it's satisfied in the self alone, by the self. When he is said to be, that he is called steady wisdom. And he whose mind is not shaken by the adversity. The moment everything is going smoothly, our mind is calm and composed, and oh so good, God is good. But the moment the adversity comes, so naturally that is the test. And a high spiritual order, always there will be some opposition, some adversities. We have seen in the life of Arjuna. Arjuna fought in the war, but before that he saw the Vishwarupa, the all world pervading, whole universe pervading of Sri Krishna. That he realized. Then only he took up the bow and arrow and said, okay, now Nashta moha smritir lapta tat prasadat mayachyuta. In the Bhagavad Gita he said, now all my delusions have vanished and I have realized the truth by the blessings of you, O God, Krishna. Nashta moha smritir lapta tat prasadat, because of your blessings. So before that he has already realized, then only he is going for fight. And when he is fighting, he is showing all that as the heroes they do, but unattached, completely. Because the Krishna told. So here also, all adversities or different type of things are coming. He is not at all hankering after the happiness, who has been completely free from affection, fear and anger, is indeed the person of steady wisdom. So what is the goal? To become that steady wisdom. What is the wisdom? Nothing changing. Only I am seeing the changes. So when I am seeing the changes, obviously there is someone who never changes. So I go to that. I realize that is the wisdom, that is the knowledge. The moment I get that, it's called Sthita Prajna. What happens? Complete joy and fearlessness. Why fear? Because I am going to lose. That idea gives me the fear. But when that is not there, then no problem. I will quote from the third one also. He who is everywhere unattached. I repeat the word everywhere. Everywhere unattached. That's all. So the spiritual life is this, understanding there are two different places are there. World is there, spheres is there. What? One is this world with various multiplicity. Another is the one and all-pervading consciousness. Now these two, I chose the second one, all-pervading consciousness without variety, eternal. And naturally, the attachment to these worldly things should not be there. If it is not there, then my mind is somewhere, I am not getting attached to this, where it goes. Sometimes when you are listening the talk, or listening the music, or trying to meditate, our mind goes somewhere. The thing that is happening, I am present, very much present, looking as if I am listening, but the mind is somewhere else. I forgot to listen what they are telling. So this is the way it goes. That means the mind can go somewhere else. That proves. Now the same mind I am sending towards God, listening to God. So obviously I am detached. I am living in this world, having everything, but I am not attached to it. It does not hanker after happiness, and who has become free from affliction, fear and anger. Why I said happiness? Because that is the thing we always want. Wherever we go, we like to have that happiness everywhere. That's why in the flight you see first class, business class, economy class and like that. And if they had said poor man's class, the people say, hey, that is very... So they have named it economic class. A good, nice thing. We go always in an economic class. When you are telling people, I go in the economic class. But if the term was the poor man's class, it would have been difficult to say like that. So they changed the term and we are happy. And the businessman, oh, businessman class, good. And first class, oh, then you'll never utter say first class. You'll, oh, that's all. Because we know it is so costly. And what is there? The same flight. From same place to same place it will go. And God forbid, if any accident happens, everybody is going to die. Whether the first class or middle class or the last class, all will die. But that moment I want the happiness. And when you are going to that, the people are waiting. The moment you show the ticket, oh, you come from this way. And they will allow you this, they will allow that. And that gives the satisfaction. So this is the way only. The happiness that is the most binding thing. Ma Sharadamani Devi was going to visit a temple, very famous temple, and it's always crowded. That is Jagannath temple. And if you like to go to the Jagannath temple, it is so crowded. In India, all the time, so much of crowd, right from the morning till the evening. The moment the door is open, thousands of people will enter. So they decided that they will take the mother in a different way, in a VIP position, because she was the Guru Ma of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was very famous. So the Guru Ma of Swami Vivekananda, the spiritual mother of Swami Vivekananda. So they're thinking, and the main priest came and told, Mother, I will take you. Mother told, see, this is completely different. I cannot go in that way, son, because I am going to the great Lord. I should go just like any other person. Only you walk before me, I will follow you. When you are walking, I will follow you so that I know where to go. But I like to be very humble with all. Why? Because I am going to God. Other places it is okay, because worldly thing. But when you are coming to the great God, it should be humble. If you are coming and trying to show that I am so and so, that I need the special treatment over here too, of course, suppose the President of America, Vice President, people like this, they have the security problem, they have the timing also. So a little special arrangements you are making when they are visiting something, that much. But for the other people, why? You don't need that. And you have coming like, so these are the things constant we have to keep in mind while proceeding towards God. What is this? The respect that we get in this world is nothing, all temporary. The joy, the happiness, and sometimes the miseries, that is also temporary. He who is everywhere unattached, everywhere, whether in the worldly life, in a householder's life, or in a spiritual life, in a monastic life, unattached. So there's a story that says, to great spiritual leader, they were watching that so much of gold and wealth and money entering into the monastery. Then one was telling the other, look, our founder, the Jesus, he was not having even a place to lay his head on. But now look at us, so many things are coming. Then the other told, yes, the worldly pleasures coming in, the spiritual pleasure going out. But you have to make a room for the place. So the worldly pleasures are coming in, where you will keep? You have to keep the room empty. So your spiritual pleasures are going out. You are becoming worldly. So that is the way one should constantly think. So Saint Francis of Assisi, he was having a small church and he wanted local people to come, but they were not coming. They were all full of different type of responsibilities. Always people, they don't like to go to the churches or any place. So sometimes they will make it in a rule. No, you must have to come on Sunday or these and that, like that. So people were not coming. So he declared, because he saw that people are very fond of marriage. So he declared that I am going to marry, and marry 3 at a time. The monk is going to marry, and not only 1, 3 at a time. So all people came. Whole village was present that day. And he said, I am going to marry the purity, the austerity, and all the wonderful values. It is that I am going to marry. What is the marriage? Completely, whole life I am going to be with that. So purity, that is my life partner. I am not going to leave that. The austerity, constantly restraining my senses, I am not going to leave that. So this way, constantly we have to go on. That's called Sthita Prajna. Adi Shankaracharya, he termed this condition as Jivana Mukta, the free while living. Jivana Mukta. Jivana means when you are living, Mukta is free. While you are living, you are free. Free from what? From attachment. And if you don't have the attachment, there is no fear also. And you don't bother about the happiness or misery of this world, because constantly you are thinking of the other things. Now, this particular discussion I will end up quoting from Kathopanishad. The great Upanishad, again and again, Swami Vivekananda, he said that you must read the Kathopanishad. What is this Kathopanishad says? It says, the unique and the blessed condition. In the Kathopanishad is explained in this way, Yada, when sarve pramuchyante kama, e asya hridisritaha atha marta amrito bhavati atra brahma samasnute. Those who are journeying toward the spiritual life. So the ordinary people are not interested. They go for majority. As sometimes the people say 99.9, that is the percentage. So that majority of the person, they are religious. But as long as their desires are fulfilled, so they are religious. They go to religious places. Not only that, they take up arms even to fight for their own religion. Why? Because the anger, the hatred, the jealousy, all can be expressed not in the name of politics, but in the name of religion. He thinks, oh, I'm a great soldier of God. I'm a holy soldier. I'm fighting for the religion, not understanding what religion is, not understanding what is God. He goes and kills all the innocent people. Those people, they were also calling on God in a different name only. But these people think, no, I'll go and kill them. This is the peculiarity. That's why we should understand what is religion. If you don't practice religion, it's okay. But if you practice religion, at least you should understand what it is. Then only it is possible. When a person is completely free from all desires, yada sarve pramuchyante kama. Kama means the desire. Sarve pramuchyante. Completely free from that, then that person becomes immortal. Ata marto amrito bhavati. Marto means that person, the person who is living, amrito bhavati. He becomes the immortal. And atra brahma samasnute, enjoys Brahman in this life itself. As Shankaracharya was talking about the Jivan Mukta condition, here the Kathopanishad also says, this is the condition, ultimate condition, enjoys this life, the Brahman. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, that in the page 478, while he is talking with other people, he mentioned about the three joys. Joy of the worldly enjoyment, joy of the worship, and joy of Brahman. In Sanskrit they say Vishaya Ananda, Bhajan Ananda, and Brahma Ananda. The third one is Brahmananda. And in between the Vishaya, the very gross type of enjoyment, the food, the other things, the all connect with it, the body pleasure, Vishayananda. And ultimate is Brahmananda. In between is Bhajanananda. So I get up in the early morning, I go and bathe in the Ganga, then I read a chapter from the Bhagavad Gita, the spiritual book, then I distribute some money to the poor, and then in different occasion I fast, I do this, I do that. All these things that I am doing is Bhajanananda. Good, but not the ultimate. But the majority of the people, they think, oh, I have done this, so it is okay. The morning they will do some little puja and meditation, their own different gods. Then they will go on forgetting God, whatever the worldly things are there, they will perform. And sometimes some people, from Monday to Saturday, they will do all worldly things. Only in the Sunday morning they will bathe and put on a good dress and go to the church and then pray, and they think, oh, I am free. From Monday to Saturday, whatever I have done, complete. No, it cannot be like that. Good that you are going to church or the temple or the holy places, listening, but the practice should be constant. And that's why we don't see the change in the worldly life, in the society. You go and point anyone. Are you a spiritual person, religious person? Of course. I belong to so and so. I believe in this and this. You always say. Then why there is no spiritual people in this world? Because all they are Vishayananda, 99% and 1% Bhajanananda. That's all. What about the Brahmananda? So Sri Ramakrishna said, the Jnani and Vijnani. You have to reach to that highest goal, the Vishayananda. And how it is possible? Ashtapasha Mukta. Aversion, Grina, shame, this is Lajja, fear, this is Voy, doubt, Shanka, Jugupsha, this is disgust, family, that is Kula, Jati, the race, and Shila, behavior due to culture. Different type of behavior comes due to the culture. So Taji, Jati, Kula, Man, every day evening when the followers of the Ramakrishna, they are praying, they pray with that song which has been composed by Swami Vivekananda. Taji, giving up Jati Kula Man. This jati is the race. Where we are born, we are bound in that. Always we think, oh, this should be this should. You will obviously will notice that is not the sign of spirituality. Then the people come, very spiritual people, but when they come, they will ask you, do you belong to such and such group? No. Immediately, oh, okay. So they cannot be in that way respectful, but it's not the sign of spirituality. So there's a one sloka is there, it says that you should not ask the jati, you should not ask the race or the family background of a monk. Rather, you should ask about the knowledge. Jat na pucho sadhu ko, pucho gyan ka baat. So you should not ask. So these are the doubts, and then Sri Ramakrishna is telling that you should not. One person is asking, does the body remain even after the realization of God? This is the wonderful question he is asking. The body survives with some so that they may work out their prarabdha karma. Sri Ramakrishna is answering. Does the body remain after the realization of God? Why suddenly this question? Realization of God, after that, the people, their whole mind, it goes to God. And they forget to take care of the physical need, that is food, drinks, and other things. So it becomes difficult for them to survive if the other people are not there around. So that is the reason, because they become least bothered about the body, but automatically other people, they come, they help him and guide him, and this way they survive. Prarabdha karma is there. That also will force you to survive. The work that we have already done, the result have started taking place. As they call that, you have already opened the jeep and the things have started coming out. That is called prarabdha. Arabdha I have earned pra before. The previous thing I have earned in my previous lives. So now that is started giving the fruit. You have to be here. Sri Ramakrishna is giving by bathing in the Ganges, a man gets rid of his sin. His unique way of explaining. By bathing in the Ganges, a man gets rid of his sin and attains liberation. But if he happens to be blind, he doesn't get rid of the blindness. So he is free from the sin, but the blindness, that will continue. So that is how he is telling. And the Pandit, that Sanskrit scholar, he is telling, that is called samskara, etc. Sri Ramakrishna is constantly trying to, in every opportunity, whether he goes to visit some place or discussing with someone, or in the Dakshineshwar, his own place, main place, wherever, anyone coming, through different occasions, through different way, he is constantly putting the words of knowledge, high spiritual knowledge. Only those who are really, really interested in developing the spiritual life must read this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Kathamrita. In Hindi it says Bachanamrita. Bachan means the words. This is a great book. Why? It gives clear idea. One lady was telling that I read the Bhagavad Gita, translated and explained by some and so and so. I was thoroughly confused and it was not convincing anyway. Then by chance, I got a book from my friend, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Oh my God, right from the first page I get all the answers. These are the lucky people. And they truly want to realize God. The Jnani reasons about the world through the process of neti, but he is not living in this. And then he is telling, see that Nitya and Leela, that we have to understand. There are some people who are following the path of knowledge. They always say that is a very difficult situation. they always say this world is illusory. As the Buddha said, the world is full of misery. Dukkhamayam jagat. The world is full of misery. But misery for whom? Who feels this is a misery? Not for all. This we have to understand. So for them, what we should do? From that position, slowly they should come up. We should not disturb them at their position. If we disturb, the whole social fabric will break down. And that is why thousands and thousands of people, they took the monastic vows at the time of the Buddhists, and they were following the Lord Buddha and all. But what about the society? All people started thinking, if I cannot leave my hearth and home, that means I am a sinner. The same thing happened in this also, in the Semitic Christian religion. Oh, we are all sinners, we are all sinners. This is only Vedanta. That's why Swami Vivekananda came and he declared, it is a call, it is a sin to call a man so. Sinners, it's a sin to call a man so. Even today, some people, they are thinking whether the ladies will go to the temple or not, whether the ladies will do the work or not. This is really foolish. Someone, he thought that the lady should not come. He was afraid the mind may be disturbed. As a male person, he wants to practice the spirituality, and so he wanted no one should come. It's okay. Maybe that a lady who is practicing spirituality, maybe she will say the male people are not allowed. That is okay. But that cannot be the rule for the all people. That we have to understand. That's why Sri Ramakrishna is telling, this whole world is nothing but the creation of the Shakti. That's the mother. If you turn that idea, one person came and he was telling, I hate the women. He was thinking that the guru will be very happy. And he was that our Swami Shivanandaji Maharaj. And Shivanandaji immediately said, why you are talking like this? You were having the mother, auntie, and all other relations, the sisters in your family. Why don't you look other women in that way? And that is called Vigyani views. That is called, Vigyani is not afraid of anything. Because he is completely withdrawn and he is settled in that. And the physical differences, all the attachments and all those things are not there in his mind. So Ramakrishna is telling again and again, become a big Jnani. Cross the border of Jnani even, become a big Jnani. Even today, in the modern society, the great souls, still they are thinking, because the mindset, or the women should not come. To come to you, okay, if you are afraid of, okay. But why imposing the same rule on the society? Wrong. It cannot be. Each soul is potentially divine. There cannot be any caste. There cannot be differences. And that is called Vijnana. That is called the highest form. And when we constantly think of God in everything, that's a Vijnana. And that is Brahmananda. The three joys, the worldly joys, we all know about it. And the Bhajanananda, majority of the people, you will see that most of the people in the different, particularly in India, have seen, they'll be mugged up the whole book and chanting right from the morning. Whenever they go to the temple, they'll be shouting and chanting, disturbing others also. But there, when they are chanting like this, not that they are devoted, they like to show psychologically and in a subtle way, they like to say, oh, I know all these slokas. That is not spirituality. You're going on chanting that book and not knowing the meaning or not practicing anything, no changes in the life. To some extent the Bhajanananda, but that is not the goal. Friends, so that's what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning very clearly. The Vishayananda, okay, to some extent we have controlled that understanding. We are just taking what is necessary for surviving, but nicely. Good. Second is the joy of worship. When constantly doing different type of worships and the rituals and these and that is also mediocre. But go to the third one, go to the ultimate. And what is that? Brahmananda, joy of the Brahman. What is that Brahman? God is in every being present. The consciousness, if we can't understand, God, the supreme love, the supreme, the purity that is present in every being. What will happen? Then there will be no aversion. And if there is no aversion, there is no challenges. If there is no challenges, ultimately you are in great joy. That's why Swami Vivekananda said to Ingersoll, the great philosopher, German philosopher, he was telling, I know how to squeeze the lemon, but I like to take the last drop of the juice from the lemon. Swamiji said, that is good, but I know a better way. How? All people's joy, my joy. So naturally, my joy is much more than yours. You are thinking only about you. I am thinking the joy of all people associated with the success and joy and happinesses of all people. And that is called Brahmananda, what Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning. Thank you. Let us chant this mantra and conclude. Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrita Vikraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namama